time for the Salt and Sass podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you're a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. Welcome to episode 70. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
Hey-o, folks, Falkins. Hey.
When you said welcome to the episode 70, I for some reason thought you were going to say welcome to episode Suzanne. I don't know why.
Welcome to episodes. That would be, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That egocentric? My gosh. Oh, while we're talking here, if any of my daughter's friends are listening to this podcast, go do something else.
What?
So, Mandi, apparently, you know, my kids aren't super into board games.
Sure.
You know, that we played when they were little or whatever. It's not their thing, and that's fine. But somehow it's come to my teenage daughter's friends' attention that we do this podcast.
Oh, no.
And they listened to last episode, and then they were making fun of me.
Why?
Well, because it was episode 69, and I think that the teenagers were just horrified that, you know, that old lady might even know what the jokey, salacious meaning of 69 could be.
Got you. Oh, boy.
So I've got these freaking teenagers making fun of my podcast. I'm like, you know what? You're grounded. You're all grounded. I don't even care if you're not my kid. You're grounded. So stop listening, kids. Go do something else. All right. Well, enough yelling at teenagers. Mandi, good to see you.
Yes, you too.
We've got a fun show. You know, some big games, little games, quacking games, and a really fun game pie.
Yes.
But first, of course, Mandi, we start every show because we're omnigamers, right?
Oh, yeah. We do all the things. Play all the games.
There's a podcast called the Omnigamers Podcast, and it's hosted by some delightful people. I think they're all in Canada. I think those folks are Canadians. I'm not sure. But anyway,
Okay.
But we're also Omnigamers, even if our podcast doesn't say that.
Yes,
And we got to get our video game juice out before we talk about board games, right?
Exactly.
So juice us, Mandi.
Okay, well, it's not going to be too much today because I have a few that I haven't, or I should say I have one that I haven't played but I'm curious about, and one that I've just played like a teeny tiny bit, but it looks super cute, and that is To a T. So like the letter T, and this is an Annapurna game, and it was on Xbox day one. I know I've seen it on Steam, and I don't know if you've played a lot of Annapurna games.
Oh, yeah, they're such a great studio.
Yeah, I think there's only maybe one or two games that I haven't been super into, but overall, very good. And I'll be honest with you, To a T just looked kind of cute. I didn't really have a lot of information about it, but I started playing it, and it is literally you are a character that walks around with arms in a T.
Yeah, you're in the T pose, and I guess you can't get out. Like, that's just your life. You're like, I just live like this.
That is it. You live your life in, like a T, like the letter T, and you have a little dog. Oh my God, the dog is so cute. That helps you with your day-to-day tasks, like brushing your teeth. But literally, the game will be like in, the beginning, like you'll get up, and you got to go to the bathroom, and you have to there are controls to make sure that you're using the bathroom, but making sure that you're moving. But you can't see, right? It doesn't show you in the bathroom. But then you'll have other tasks like brushing your teeth or washing your face or rinsing out your mouth. And the amount of controls you have to use to do it is so funny. I'm just you're thinking, Mandi, what kind of game is this? Let's be clear. I think it's not meant to be I want to shoot up some baddies. It's not that kind of game.
No, clearly, yeah.
At all. I think it's like a 5-hour game. I've only spent maybe about half an hour to an hour playing, so I've just started. Honestly, it's a nice kind of break from some of the heavier games that I've been playing, but it looks super, super cute. So I know this is the one you've been interested in playing as well, Suzanne.
Yeah, I saw the promo for it, and I follow Annapurna as a studio, and it looks super adorable. I don't have Game Pass, so I don't get to try it, but it looks adorable. I'll be looking forward to hearing more of your thoughts on it, for sure.
Right. And once I play it a bit more, definitely we'll let you know. So it is on Game Pass for those who do have Game Pass. It's on Steam, and I should have checked to see if it was on some other platforms, but Annapurna games generally go across platforms. But for right now, it is on Game Pass if you want to try it out. So if you have Game Pass, give it a go. The next one I have not played yet. I know you're like, Mandy, but you're supposed to be talking about games you play.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, no, for reals. What's going on?
I know, but this is one I've been hearing about it for so long, and it's finally come to Game Pass because I wasn't going to pay $80 for it. You all know how I roll. That wasn't going to happen, especially a game that I didn't really know a lot about, and it's called Metaphor Refantasio, and it's a Sega game, and it is on Game Pass, and it does have that JRPG vibe, which I just don't know if I like those. I haven't played enough of them to determine whether I like them or not. And someone had convinced me to buy Final Fantasy VII, the remake. They said, if you're going to start with one, you should start with that. I just haven't played it yet. But I was like, okay, let's jump into this Metaphor Refantasio. It has that same kind of vibe. It's been getting a lot of good reviews. Like, people have been saying it's so good. The story's good. It definitely gives that kind of Final Fantasy art vibe. Definitely a JRPG when you look at it. I'm going to try it, and I will have more to say. I just wanted to know, and this is something I know we have a video game thread or whatnot on the forums there. If anyone's played this game, Metaphor Refantasio, and what were your thoughts? Like, is it worth it? Like, should I continue with this? Because I'm going to say it. I just can't get back into... what is it? Claire Obscure?
Which, wow, you are the outlier. A ton of my other friends are just so into it. So I find I actually find it fascinating that it didn't click with you. I find that, which is great, which is fine. I just find that interesting.
I wanted it to. Do you know what I mean? Like, seems like it's on my alley, and I still can't figure out what it is. Now, to be fair, I haven't gotten back to it since I played it once or twice. I've probably put like a couple hours into it. Okay. I'm going to try it one more time, and hopefully once I get past a certain point in the story, maybe it'll click for me. But then again, there was that other game, Outer Wilds. Everybody loves that game. I just didn't get it. To be honest with you, I didn't get it, but it's another one I promised myself I'm going to give it another go. So to revisit these things, but hopefully Metaphor Refantasio will change something for me there. So again, that's another one that just came to Xbox Game Pass. So if you want to try it too, you can. All right, that's enough about me and my musings. What about you, Suzanne? What have you been playing, or what would you like to play?
Well, the list of what I'd like to play is never ending. But I've been playing Blueprints that we talked about last time.
Yes.
I've been playing Into the Restless Ruins. I've been playing, what was the other one that I picked up recently that I've been enjoying? Nine Kings demo.
Oh, I picked that up. Is it good?
Tower Defense. It's cute. I haven't quite fallen in love with it yet, but I've definitely played a little bit of it. But the one that is distracting me from Blueprints and Into a Restless Ruins is Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time.
Oh boy. Tell me about this one.
I picked this up because my friend Eric was basically, you need this game, you're going to love it, blah, blah, blah. I took a look at it. I was in a bad mood. I'm like, treat yourself kind of mood. And so I picked it up. They call it a slow life RPG.
Okay.
And you build a little character and you adventure on these lands and you get jobs. And that sounds worse than it is. It's more like skills. So you could be the woodsman, or you could be a tailor, or you could be a paladin, things like that. But you're basically building up resource gathering, materials making, and combat skills. And you can switch freely between those jobs after you've acquired them. And you level each one up separately. They all have their own skill trees that you get experience and things like that. Cool. But it also has an Animal Crossing vibe to a degree.
Okay.
So nothing ever feels super high pressure, but it's definitely got a specific story that is you're propelling yourself forward through. But you do have to take time to level yourself up, which means you're just going around and you're like chopping down a lot of trees or plucking a lot of seashells. Or, you know, unlike Animal Crossing, you might go around and you might go into a dungeon and fight off some lizard monsters, whatever. But you get to a point and then you can actually start crafting your island. Like literally just like in Animal Crossing, how you can build your island structure the way you want it a little bit. You can do that in this game. And you get a house and you get to decorate it and expand it. And you get different items and you get different outfits and you get friends and you can decorate their house. And it's so cute. And so this slow life RPG, Animal Crossing, but with more compelling not emotionally compelling, but like more action to propel you forward is kind of what it's settling into be. And I'm really enjoying it. The crafting are little games where you've got 3 stations and you got to like, it's not quite rhythm, but it's like,
Right.
do the saw, do the hammer, do the slide, do the saw, do the saw. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm enjoying it. And I'm enjoying it enough that it's taking me away from blueprints. And part of the reason why is I can pick it up and put it down, play 5 minutes, play 8 minutes, cool, put it down. You can't do that with blueprints. Right? Blueprints has no freaking save, and it's killing me. I don't always have time to sit down for an hour or more to play through a run. I'm sorry, I just don't. And so, so if I can't save it, I'm not going to start it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But so Fantasy Life, I'm really enjoying it for what it is. And sometimes, you know what? If you put the words slow in the game description, I think that really appeals to me right now.
It looks cute. I mean, it's totally up my alley. I mean, I love a good cozy game. I'm here for it. But the $80 price tag
for Canadians,
yeah, Canadian plus tax is a little much for me right now. So when it goes on sale, this is one I will 100% entertain because it does look super cute.
Heard. Well, enough video games. I've got a crowdfunding campaign I'd like to highlight, Mandy, if we can do that before we jump into the games we've been playing.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty, so this campaign appealed to me for a number of reasons. So on Kickstarter right now, 25th Century Games, which I really like what 25th Century is doing lately. And I think that they're doing good partnerships and they're doing a lot of games in that sweet, light to mid-weight that is just so playable right now. They're running 2 games on Kickstarter that are astronomy themed. So Stargazers and Observatory. And I was really interested in Observatory because this is a constellation mapping roll and write. Hello, must have $20, cute little roll and write where you're building constellations out on your little personal sheet. You know, I gotta have it. But then I took a closer look at Stargazers, which is a tile drafting game, and you get these tiles and they're cut out in the middle, and then you draft other tokens that fill the middle. And then you're building out your personal tableau. And when I started getting a lightweight Cascadia vibe from it.
Oh.
Right, exactly. So then I was like, oh, crud, now I'm into Stargazers as well. So you should check this project out. It's on Kickstarter. It ends June 13th. The basic Observatory is $20. The Stargazers is $35. They do offer deluxe editions as well that you can look into with fancy acrylic tiles and all that good stuff. But yeah, I love astronomy. Mandy, I don't know if you knew that about me, but like I have this whole like telescope. I haven't used it in years, but back when I was younger, I was super into it. And so that they hooked me with that.
Very cool. Yeah, it sounds very good. I was just poking around on there while you were talking about it. I'm like, let me take a peek.
Yeah. All right. So that's our little crowdfunding. Now, oh boy, Mandy, I am so excited to hear what you have to say, but also I'm so excited to talk about one of my games. Like I'm so excited. So let's start rolling.
Okie dokie. Well, I have kind of a big one because it's like 3 in 1. So we'll see how long I go, and then I'll determine if I want to do another game after this one.
You're like, oh, I'm so tired now.
Well, I don't know. People might get tired of me talking about it because it's a lot. So the game in question is Earth. But I'm also going to be taking a look at the expansions Abundance and Animal Kingdom. Now, Abundance, I believe, is available or has just started shipping from their last crowdfunding. Animal Kingdom was on Kickstarter maybe a month ago, not even, I don't think. So that's not going to ship probably until 2026. I did receive a prototype to look at. So this is why I'm able to talk about it now. So please don't get upset if you're like, I want it, but I can't get it. It's just, it won't be available till probably not till next year. Earth is designed by Maxime Tardif, and art is by M81 Studio, Connor McGooey, Yulia Sozanik, and Kenneth Spond. And it's published by Inside Up Games, and I believe Connor's Canadian, which is always nice. Yeah, and it's for 1 to 5 players, and it plays in 45 to 90 minutes. Now, something to note here. The base game plays 1 to 5. But I believe Abundance drops in extra pieces for a 6th player. And we're going to talk about that. So for those who haven't played Earth, Earth is what you call like a tableau building game. So it's one of those games that the rules are not super hard, but there are kind of like little things that you have to pay attention to. Otherwise, you can be like, oh, great, not scoring that. Oh, well, not scoring that either. Or not playing optimally on turns. I have been there. And, the theme is based on, the Earth, planet biodiversity, that sort of building ecosystems and kind of making sure those are all connected. And this is where resource management comes into play. As well. So just a quick overview of what to expect when you lay it out. You'll have your player board, and on that player board you will be given some cards that you can choose what side you want to put them on with specific types of terrain. And there are actions at the bottom of these cards. Some have multi-actions, so more than one, depending on the color action that's taken by the active player. We will talk about that momentarily because that's a bit confusing. And you'll also have you're going to be making a 4x4 grid. So this is where you're going to place cards when you have an action that allows you to plant or build in this area. And the game will end when someone has built their 16th or planted their 16th card. And I believe it's equal number of turns. So you'll just end out the round. And then I know someone gets points for doing that first. So that's always nice to do first to get those extra points. There's also a board that's going to have some objectives for everybody to kind of achieve. And it is one of those boards where the first person will get the higher amount of points, but you only have so many tokens to use. And the reason why that comes up is in the base game, you have enough, but when you add the expansions, it changes things a little bit. The cards that you're putting out in your tableau are going to be of different terrains. I don't remember off the top of my head what they are, but, they'll have some that are like the green cards that are more kind of look like flora, and then you'll have other ones that are more kind of like that rough terrain, but those ones are different types of cards or different types of scoring or provide you discounts on cards, things like that. So they have a variety of cards that you can play. And some of them will allow you to score things based on where they are in the tableau. On a turn, the active player, there are 4 actions at the top of the board. I think it's 4. I'm trying to think. Green. We've had discussions about the coloring of these. There's like green, yellow, or not even yellow, like mustard, mint green, and like an orange color. Pretty sure it's the 4. And on these spaces are actions you can take, and the top part is for the active player. The bottom part is for every other player that would also like to take that action. Obviously, it's not as strong as the active player, but you still get to take it, and it can include building or putting cards into your tableau. It can include getting these kind of tokens that you can put kind of like trees on. There are cards that allow you to build up on there for another scoring mechanism. Cubes, which are leaves that you can put on some cards, which allow for it, that sort of thing. So getting more cards to compost, because composted cards, which are a space on your board, are worth 1 point each at the end of the game. You also have event cards, which could give you points, but they can also give you subtract points from your score, and those can be played on your turn. But with an expansion, they can be played out of turn. So there are a few different things there. Trying to think. I think those are like the basic rules for the game. You're just trying to build that tableau. And then also, you should also want to trigger if someone takes a red action, for example. You're going to look at all the cards that have red actions, and you're going to be able to fire those off starting from top to bottom, left to right. That was a really important rule that was missed when I was learning this game.
Order of operation.
Makes a difference. To be fair, the person teaching hadn't played in a long time. Totally get it. And it wasn't, we figured out eventually, but but I appreciate you teaching. So thank you. That's the basic game. So I think that sounds good. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed that game very much. I thought it was very good. And I love the fact it plays 1 to 5 players. It says 45 to 90 minutes. Maybe for the first game might take a little bit longer to kind of wrap your head around a few things, but it's pretty good. I liked what I saw. It was great. Then there's the Earth Abundance expansion, and this adds that 6th player that I was talking about. I'm just going to say it right off the top. This did not need to be a separate box. This could have been like, here you go, a little pack of cards, because all you're getting are 70, I think it's like 70 new cards. I had to make sure I got this correct. So you're getting some new cards, you're getting some extra components because you're adding new cards. So those are like the pieces you get. I don't feel like that's something that needed to be a separate boxed thing. Do you know what I mean? We have these like additional add-ons that you can get as like a little pack, which would be less expensive. That's just a me thing. I don't know if it needed to be like a whole expansion. You can also save sprouts. So remember those little, I said leaves, but there are little green cubes in the game that you can put on cards, and you can use those for actions, or sometimes they're worth points depending on the card you have. But when you get them, you can't save them. Now with this expansion, it allows you to save them, and at the end of your turn, you can place them out if you're able to. So you're not losing them. So it allows you to kind of keep them, which is nice. And the 6 player, and you can also play team. So I will be upfront. I did not play team. I'll be honest with you. Getting this game played in a team format would be extremely difficult for me. Yeah. This might be one I have to revisit, but my group's not so much into the team play. But it is an option. So you can play 2x2, 2 against 2 against 2, or 3 against 3. So if that appeals to you, hey, they've got a team option. But then you can also play with a 6 player if you want to play individually. There are little board extensions that you can add now to hold your little sprouts, those green cubes I was talking about. And they had some reference sheets. I'm going to tell you right now, those reference sheets were not giving at all. I'm one who heavily relies on player aids. We all were like, okay, that's a thing.
Oh, interesting.
And the reason I bring that up, there were some other actions that happen in the game. There's something called seeds. I think it's seeds. Yeah, so you get an extra material, seeds in the game. And I forgot to mention there's dirt, which my friends call poop, I guess, manure.
Of course. Well, why wouldn't you? Come on.
Of course, right? So that's like the currency.
Is it seeds or sprouts? No, it's seeds. Okay.
Exactly. Seeds are a way to search cards. So there was an action that everybody seemed to really dislike, and it was called germinate. The germinate action, oh boy. The reference card had it on there, the types of things you can say, hey, I'm looking for XYZ, and it could be a color, so something that's italics on the card, which I think is like the colors or whatever. So because there's maybe an objective you're trying to meet, so you need like a specific card and you're not getting it by drawing cards on one of your actions. So you can use the germinate action. You need a seed to do that. So in order to get a seed, you have to give up one of your leaf tokens, and you use your leaf tokens to get objectives, to signify, hey, I'm completing an objective. So instead of doing that, you can get rid of it, and you can get a seed. And then a seed has other actions you can do, like getting resources, like some of the little tree things that I was telling you about for points. You can get more of the green cubes. You can get currency, the dirt, or poop, as my friends like to call it. But, I mean, it gives you other things that you can do with it. So the seed could be pretty beneficial. We'll talk about the seed, how it plays a role in the Animal Kingdom expansion in a moment. So the seed does carry over to that, but that was also something new in this game. The germinate action, though, was the one that people were not about that life at all. And it requires you to go through the deck. Like, if you...
Oh, no. There's a lot of cards in the deck. There's a lot of cards in that deck.
Exactly. So everyone's like, really? Like, I don't want to do that. And let's be clear. You could get it on the third try. Like I said, one of the first one you come across, right? For whatever criteria you're looking for, that's the card you're going to take. But I had it where I was going through, because I wanted to try all the actions. It was a lot. And I just told you added 70 cards to it with this expansion on top of the whatever cards you had before. So the germinate action, while I feel like, yes, it could be important potentially for an objective you're trying to complete, I'll be very honest with you, in the games, and I played this a few times, it was the least used action ever. People read it and they were like, no, thank you. I don't know if it just sounded more confusing than it was, or it was a no. I don't know. Anyway, so the extra action is there for you, I guess, but it wasn't one that people seem to resonate with. But the seeds, people like the option of getting more resources and things like that using the seeds, so that was pretty cool. So that was it really for the abundance expansion. That was fine, but I don't know if it needed to be a whole thing, I guess, is my...
Sure. I mean, I think, since I started working with a publisher, I have a slightly different perspective on it, but I can understand from your point of view why you feel that way 100%. I can totally understand that.
No, absolutely. And you know what? And I think it's important to know. So after I go through this, I would love to hear, like, as a consumer for me, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Just for the
totally fair. Yeah.
And let's be clear, I didn't pay for this, but I do know people that have paid for this, and they I'm sure would be like, okay, could this not have been done a different way? So
Maybe,
those are my thoughts on that. But the gameplay itself was good. I mean, I liked the extra player, the option for team play is nice for people who enjoy that, and just some other playing materials in the game and new cards. Nothing is better than getting a little refresh on the cards. Okay, the last expansion I'm going to talk about is Earth Animal Kingdom. You can play this with Abundance as well, and it does play up to 6 players. And again, I just have the prototype, so some things probably are subject to change, but it introduces animals in the game. And this one is where you everybody gets to choose animals. So there's a way to choose the animals, and it's a draft. So depending on, I guess, what level you're playing with, you can have 2 animals or 1. If you're playing on easy, you're just going to take 1. If you're playing on a more challenging mode, you're going to take 2. And they have abilities on them that you're going to be able to trigger remember when I was telling you about those seeds, how you have to like get rid of a leaf to get a seed. So anytime you do that kind of action, you can also trigger your animal ability. So you're like, what do they do? Well, let's talk about it. So when you first get your animals, everyone's going to get, I think it's like you get 4 of them. And then you're going to pick one and then pass the rest to the player on I think it's the left. And then you'll pick another one and then pass the remaining cards. And then from those 4, you're going to pick 1 or 2, depending on what level you're going to play. There are 2 sides. There's a global ability and ability. For this game, like the animal that you keep in front of you, you're just going to play with the ability side. And on that side of the card, you could have potential scoring. So there'll be like a little box on the bottom where you're going to keep things. Versus some of the other ones are going to help you more in-game. Okay? They do denote which ones are more difficult to play with or more challenging. So like a 1 to 3 star kind of rating. So that'll help you. And you'll also notice movement of these is important. And I didn't realize that till I played with it a few times. There's also one animal that will be flipped over, and that's just random when we pick from the pile. And that's the global ability. So when the round is over, everybody's going to have an opportunity to use the global ability if they meet whatever the requirement is on the card. Or potentially it's like, hey, if you want to discard something from your compost, you'll get this many of whatever resource. So there are a couple ways that could work. You don't have to do it. It's an option for you. It's a global ability, so everyone has the option to do it at the end of the round. Your ability or your animal triggers, like I was saying, when you get rid of or anytime you do that kind of action with a leaf. So if you complete an objective, maybe you're changing your leaf for a seed, you will be able to use your animal. So some of the animals have conditions. It has to move exactly this many spaces through a particular type of terrain. It can only move orthogonally. Sometimes it moves diagonally. There's a condition that has to be met, and you cannot backtrack. So if you only had 2 terrains and it has to move exactly 2 spaces, you're in trouble. You might want to get a bit more terrain out there so it has movement. Because remember, you want to take advantage of it while you're doing those actions I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Those are the hardest ones for me to play with. I don't care what anyone says. Some of them were like a 1 star, but I'm like, you have to focus on it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. Versus one of my friends playing got 40 points off of his at end game because he had one of the ones that score. But he was always complaining that he was soil poor, but it's because he was putting the soil had to go on this card that he had for the animals, but he got 40 points from it. Mm-hmm. So the animals will move in your tableau, but again, they're not going to come out till you do one of those actions. Some of them are great in-game to get you things, and then some, as I was just saying before, are great for end-game scoring. That's what the animals do, and then in the box comes a few little extra pieces for you. That's literally the extent of the animals. The first game I played with them, I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of ignored it. I was like, this it just seems so hard. Like, when am I going to do this? I have to move exactly this, and my tableau doesn't work now, so it's a bit of a waste. Then on future games, I tried focusing on it more, and it definitely did help me in acquiring resources during the game, so I thought that was really good and really smart. And we had a few people who really benefited from using their animals. And then others, not as much. So it's something that I think.
Yeah, but that's typical of any game that has multiple paths to points. Yes. Like that actually sounds cool. Okay.
No, it's very cool. But like you were saying, yeah, like the first throwing that in there, and the first time you're playing, it's like, okay, like it's not even. I need a minute to sit with it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
yeah.
I think after a couple plays, a few plays, like you'll get used to, okay, now I see how this works. And then it actually really made me think, ooh, you know what? I'm sitting here on leaves. I'm never going to score these objectives. So, hey-o, let's get a seed. And use my animal because my animal's going to get me more resources, points, whatever the case may be. So it actually now made me think, okay, how can I use this effectively? And it was much better. I didn't win, but my score vastly improved. So I do enjoy it. And they come with little animeeples. So I thought that was really cute that it matches the card. Some of them have multiple, depending on the ability, where you are able to put up more than one over the course of the game. It really just depends. So I really liked it, and I really liked at the end of the round you have an opportunity to make a choice. Hey, lose some points to potentially get something better. I like those kind of decisions as well. So Earth Animal Kingdom, I actually really enjoyed once I got the hang of it. And like I said, it does work with the Abundance expansion, and I'm glad that they made that happen. I just feel like I don't know if I don't know if specifically the Earth Abundance expansion had to be something that was separate. But again, I would love to hear Suzanne's perspective on that. So overall, it's a lot now. So if you've never played this game,
yeah, it's so much.
I would probably just take your time maybe with the first game and then kind of introduce the other things because it would be a lot at first. It's not hard. They're not difficult rules, but it's a lot to take in. And like I said, something's going to get ignored. So you're not going to really feel that you played it well enough. But I really enjoy Earth. Every time I play it, I try and play a different game. I love that. The replayability is really strong. And, you've got new cards, new materials, new abilities with the animals to play with. So, yeah. So overall, I think Earth is very good. And I did enjoy the expansions that I talked about here, Abundance and Animal Kingdom. So if you like that kind of tableau building your engine, getting resources, this is a really strong game and it's a good one. So Earth, Abundance, and Animal Kingdom. I'm so sorry, everybody. That was long. So I'm probably just going to do that game for today. But I wanted to kind of really go into it because I really enjoyed my time with it.
Well, there's a lot of content there, too. Like, that's just a lot, right?
Absolutely.
Which is interesting. So, and appreciate everything that you said. Now, when you're talking about Abundance and it's a bunch of cards and then a little bits and bobs to support that. Sure. I totally understand why players feel that way. And maybe I would have felt that way myself 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Right. I think the reality is when you say 70 cards, that's a lot of cards.
Yeah,
70 cards is a lot of cards. And if they have illustrations that aren't crappy generative AI, but like actually they paid an artist, well, that actually costs a fair amount of money. Yeah. Illustrating 70 cards is a lot of money. So yeah, printing a deck of cards is not that much, but illustrating is a lot. And when you're talking about adding 70 cards to an existing ecosystem, if you're doing it any kind of proper playtesting at all, that takes a lot of design and development time and testing and things like that, all of which, is worth acknowledging. And, you're not... Absolutely. There are people, and not us, but there are people out there who determine a game's value purely based on what they think it costs to print at the manufacturer. Right, it's just a deck of cards. Oh, it's 52 cards. Why am I paying? I can go to Costco and buy a pack of bicycle poker cards for, I get 10 decks for $12. Why do you want $30 for what's just a deck of cards? That's not what you're saying, but
sure, no,
board game. It's just a sheet of tokens and some cards, and like, why are they charging us $50? And if that's how you evaluate games, fair, then that's how you do it. But I would suggest that games are much more than just the cardboard that they're printed on, and Absolutely. So that's where it starts to get more complicated when you're looking at like, oh, it's a ton of cards, but it's just cards. Does this need to be separate or not? I can't speak to that. What I can say is probably had they just added those components to the base game, it would have inflated. They have to pay for it.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
And when you add stuff to a box, if it makes the box bigger, if it makes the box heavier, it impacts things like how much it costs to freight, how many you can fit in a case, how many cases can fit on a pallet. Like there's weird little cascading things. And then it's like, well, if we had to pay, say, $10,000 for this new art, if we can't get a margin on that as an expansion, but we just pack it into the base game, we're not going to be able to adjust and cover our costs in the same way. So I think there are a lot of like just pragmatic reasons to break something like that out separately. I think it's very understandable that like your average gamer, your average consumer wouldn't understand that. And that's a challenge for publishers, right? Publishers, we need to do a better job about communicating to our hardcore fans about like why this costs money and why the balance of putting it in the box. Well, yeah, if you wanted to spend $25 more for the base game, but then that would limit who would buy our base game in the first place, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense, right? Because maybe not everybody wants all those extra bits. Like for me, because I get these things and I toss the boxes, right? As soon as I get expansions, I can handle it. Like, and this is selfish, right? Because I'm thinking of myself, and not everybody's like this. I'm like, just put it one box. Like, I don't need all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? But there are people who maybe don't want all of that and don't want to pay it or can't afford to pay all of that. So no, absolutely. And I totally get that reasoning behind it. For me, it's just extra things. I've got to figure out where to put it. That's literally all I'm thinking about.
I also ditched my expansion boxes, so heard you on that.
So no, thank you for that perspective. And it's important that we talk about it, right? Because I don't work in that. And sometimes my mind is in consumer mode. And, you don't always take all of those things into consideration. So, so there you go. Thank you.
All right. First game up for me, Duck and Cover. No, that's the name of the game. I'm not telling you to duck and cover.
What? Am I supposed to do that?
Duck and Cover is the name of the game, designed by Usama Khalifat and illustrations from Adrian Journal, and it's published by Captain Games. I found out about Duck and Cover because my good friends Josh and Melissa were like, "Oh, have you played Duck and Cover?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, we just played it and we think it's perfect for you." And then they described it to me and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that game's perfect for me." And so then I went out and bought a copy. Nice. So Duck and Cover is just a card game. It plays 2 to 7, but it's not a party game.
Oh.
And it's just in this slightly long, narrow, it's not like a deck box. It's a little bigger, but that's what it is. And so it's 2 to 7 because it includes enough cards that every player gets their own little deck of cards numbered 1 through 12. Mm-hmm. And you're going to build out a 3x4 grid of cards in front of you. You're going to shuffle them up and put it out a little random, a 3x4 grid. So you have cards 1 through 12. And every player's deck, like the card backs are different colors so you can distinguish, whose deck is who. But the decks are materially the same thing from a gameplay perspective. Okay. And then there is a deck of cards that you randomize. And it's got 1 through 12 twice and then 2 random cards. You shuffle that up. And then you're gonna flip the top card, and then everybody moves that card in their tableau. So let's say I flip up a 2. Everybody finds the 2 in their grid, and then they take an action with it. And your action choices are duck or cover or quack. So if you duck, you've got this grid, you can move the card to an empty space adjacent to another card. Even if it breaks that 3x4 grid, you're not beholden to that grid. It's just your setup. Or if you'd created a space earlier in play, you can put in an empty space there. It just has to be adjacent to cover. So you can duck. You can move your card. You can cover, which is taking that card and covering up an adjacent card with it instead. Mm-hmm. Or you can quack, which means you're choosing to pass. Duck, cover, or quack. And what you're trying to do is you are trying to stack these cards all in one pile the fastest. Because when you move a card, if there's cards underneath it, you move the whole pile with it. So you're trying to ultimately stack these cards on top of each other so that you can be the first one to have a single stack of cards. And then you're out. And then it is golf scoring. So players score points based on the value of the cards that are still exposed in their tableau. Mm-hmm. And if you have all of your cards in one stack, the number that's on top will count as negative points. But this game is golf scored. Points are bad. So if you have an 11 on top of your stack and you get negative 11 points, that's a good thing. Yay, you did it. You're going to play through 3 rounds of that. Lowest score wins. It's dead simple. I mean, it's so dead simple. But it's so freaking clever. Like you hear this just when you're like, I don't know. No, like it is. Once you get into, you're like, wait a minute, this is really clever. This is really smart because everybody's tableau is randomized, so what they're gonna have adjacent is different. But then it's like, well, do I risk it and keep a high value card exposed so I can get huge negative points at the end of the game by having it on top? But if I don't manage to be first, then that's bad because I'm going to take a lot of points and I don't want those points. There's some push your luck. There's a little bit, but you know what cards are out. So you can kind of be like, oh crap, that card's already out. I don't, or whatever. I'm not going to get it. I got to cover it up. Right. The choice about going to J, like there are all these really interesting choices. Like when you choose to duck, Well, are you doing that to strategically position a card for a future turn? You're like, wait, no, I really want to get that 4 over that 12. I can't do that, so I'm going to move it up there first. Like, there are so many interesting little decisions that you can make in this silly little card game. I was so impressed. And at its heart, it's still a silly little card game. We were sitting around the table one time, and my son was in the other room playing a video game, and you got a table full of grown adults going, quack, quack. Because when you quack, you got to quack. So you're flipping over cards and quack, quack, quack. And my son was like, what are you people doing? Because you've got a table full of adults quacking, and it's amazing. Sure. So you have, a little bit like last episode I talked about, Hot Streak. You have just this game that is joyful, but clever. Joyful and clever. And that is such a sweet spot for me when you're tired at the end of the day, or you want to interact, but you don't want to think too hard, but you don't want to just be there, playing 52 pickup or whatever. Duck and Cover was really smart. And the game we were kind of talking about, it's like, and it plays that 2 to 7 count, that huge player count. And we were talking about a game I've reviewed here before, Panda Royale, which is just roll a chunk full of dice, score based on the color. It's very, very simple, but once you get into it, holy cow, there's actually a lot going on in that game.
Absolutely.
And it's just perfect to throw down. So I bring Panda Royale like to conventions or things like that. I'm always like, let's teach this. You haven't played Panda Royale? I got to teach you this game. Duck and Cover is joining that family. And Duck and Cover is one of those games that if I have 2 copies, I could play up to 14. And I'm like, Mama might be buying a second copy because it's only $20. To have like this clever little fun, lightweight, easy to teach, quick to play, really engaging game where you get little silly moments, amazing. The other thing is, they didn't have to do this. See, this is the thing. Captain Games didn't have to do it, but they went to the next step. Every player's deck, it's all ducks, right? All these images are little, like, illustrated rubber ducks. They're so cute. A little cheesy, but adorable. Every single freaking deck has a slight theme to it. Like, maybe it's classic Hollywood tropes. So you have a duck that looks like Cary Grant, or you have a duck that looks like the Mummy, or you have a duck that looks like Marilyn Monroe. And then somebody else's deck is completely different. Somebody else's deck is Halloween theme, and all the ducks are like mummies or Frankenstein ducks. Every single card has a unique illustration. Every single deck has a unique little theme, and it adds so much charm. And they didn't need to do that. But wow, it really, it adds such a delightful verve just to the whole darn thing. In case you couldn't tell, I'm in love with this game, like Duck and Cover. It's amazing. Thank you, Josh and Melissa, for exposing it to me, or introducing, not exposing, introduce. We'll use a better word, introducing it to me. If you can find this game, y'all, you should check it out. It's delightful. That's Duck and Cover.
It sounds so fun, actually.
It's ridiculous fun, Mandy. I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm serious about this and Panda Royale, like the 2 games, every convention, they're in the bag every time.
No, definitely sounds fun. Definitely got to try this one out. So I am going to skip my next game because
it's too big. You're tired.
Episode, it was a lot, and the next one I'm going to talk about isn't short either. So I think I'll save that one. It is an RPG. I'm doing something different this time, but I'll save that for next episode.
Well, all right, then. Then I'll just do my last game.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one, and I don't always get to do this, but I'm going to review a game I don't own.
Oh. Okay.
Here it is, Stich for Stick. STICHFURSTICH. This is a Zoc Verlag game. And I got to play it with my friends, Jason and Carrie. And they thought I'd like it, and they were, spoiler alert, right. Stich for Stick is a deduction trick-taking game designed by Marcus Leon with illustrations from Felix Wermke and, like I said, Zoc. It plays 3 to 4, so it's got that more limited player count. What you've got is players, there's a deck of cards, and they have 2 icons on them, a person, which is essentially a suit. There's 4 different types of people, and then a weapon, because it's a deduction game. You're trying to find who did it with what weapon.
Okay.
And then every player gets a little plastic rack and little tokens. And the tokens, there's one for each person and there's one for each weapon. And you keep that facing you secret style because you're trying to be a better deducer than everybody else. So every round, one person is going to be the knower or the controller of the hand or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it the knower because I think that's how they taught it to me. The knower is going to pick the weapon and they're going to know the weapon and the person. They know it, but they also play the trick. Okay. And what happens is that person and weapon become the quote-unquote trump suits of that hand, but you don't know what they are. Only one person knows what they are. So if you have the green girl with the knife, then that's the super card. And then let's say you have cards with just the knife. Then the knife becomes the next highest trump. And then if you have just a card with just the green girl, then that's the next highest trump. So it goes, combo, person and weapon, weapon, culprit. And the high card wins the trick. So everybody, the card is led and you play a fairly, you don't have to follow. But everybody puts out a card and then the knower says, you won the trick. Well, how the heck do you know why you won the trick? Well, you're looking at everybody else's cards and Mandi played the green girl with the rope. But I played the orange guy with the rope. But she won, so that must mean the green girl must be part of the trump suit. So then you're moving your tokens along on your little personal rack however you want to so you can kind of remember, okay, orange guy, definitely not it. Green girl might be it. That kind of thing.
Right.
After that, each player shows the knower a person and a weapon token. The knower looks at it, goes, yep or nope, and then you move on. You're also getting a little bit of information every hand. You play through seven plays, so your hand of cards is 7, and then at some point you're going to score points. And the way that works is that if you've guessed who it is appropriately, then you get points for every card left in your hand plus 1. If you get to the end of the round and nobody has guessed it all correctly, the knower gets 7 points plus 1. And everybody at the end of the round gets points for every trick they took. So it's it's got a lot going on. You want to take tricks sometimes, but you want to be sometimes. You play suboptimally to win the trick because you're trying to get information. The knower is playing as well. So the knower is trying to throw people off on what they're playing if they take the trick or if they don't because they want to throw opponents off. And you play enough rounds that everybody gets to be the knower one time. And then whoever has the highest score wins. It was totally my jam. I thought it worked so well. And it was so fun and so clever. It took me a little, it took me around to kind of get it. And then once it clicked, you're like, oh man, this thing goes hard. You are deducing your little heart out. You're trying to be clever when you're the knower about how you play. You're eyeballing opponents. You're yelling in frustration when you think you got it and you pass over 2 tokens and the knower's like, nope. And then you're mad at them for the rest of the night. It's great. So stick for stick, deduction trick taking, it works. It's fun. It's clever. I love it. Hey, Mandi.
It's trick taking. I mean,
Yeah.
I love a good trick taking game.
And you like deduction. You would like this game. Mandi, guess what? I don't own it.
Yeah.
I have looked on all of my traditional sources to import games from Europe. I cannot find a copy of it.
Oh.
It's making me mad. I want this game. I cannot find it on my usual online kind of import from Germany, import from Europe places. So my dear listeners out there, my dear friends, if you know of a place where I can buy a copy of Stick for Stick, please message me and let me know because I want this game. I want it real bad. I love it. I want it.
Yes.
If you find it and you buy it because of this review and you don't let me know, yeah, I will haunt you. I don't know. I'm just going to be jealous. That's all. So that is Stick for Stick, deduction trick taking. Please, somebody out there, find a copy. Help me find a copy.
I must have it.
Thank you. Whew. All right. That's some games, Mandy. I did 2 quicker ones. You did 1 meaty one with tons of expansions. Thank you for giving me that insight.
No, my pleasure.
We were talking about what we want to do for Game Pie. Mandy, I got to admit, it's time for you to come up with one next time because we need one of your kind of
Random
games that you play on a day that it's sunny, but not too hot, and you have a nice, refreshing iced tea or something like that.
Okay, that's in the docket, yeah.
This time, we're doing something a little more straightforward. Your favorite games from the publisher, Pegasus Spiele. The Game Pie of today is full of our favorite games from the publisher, Pegasus Spiele. So, Mandy, Pegasus has been around for decades, a classic German publisher board games were huge in Europe in a way that they just weren't in America or even Canada, I would assume, for a long time. So you find publishers like Pegasus Spiele that have been around for decades, and when you look at their catalog, it's really interesting to see how it's evolved over time and things like that, and how many games that they've produced that are still favorites of ours today. So thought it would be fun to take a look at Pegasus Spiele. Plus, they often do more quote-unquote Euro-style games, which I know appeal to both of us a lot.
Absolutely.
So, Mandy, would you like to do the honors and serve up our first slice of Pegasus pie?
Yes, it took everything in my power not to put... there's a game that I would have put on here, but I feel like I put it on a list all the time. So I was like, no, I will not put it on. So the first one on my Pegasus Spiele game pie is Sky Mines. Now, Sky Mines was previously known as, I think it's Mombasa, I think they did like a retheming, which I'm happy about. Let's just go with that. But I did enjoy the game Sky Mines. So this is an Alexander Pfister game, I think also in conjunction with Victor Kolbilki. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but everyone knows that I'm a big fan of Alexander Pfister games. And this is one, I know what you're all going to say, it has like a space vibe. Listen, okay? The theme is irrelevant at this point because the game is good. I know I'm going to get hit for that, but just saying. But it is one of those ones where it does have a slight economic kind of element. I never thought I'd like programming as much as I do in this game, but I like it because I'm not a huge programming of cards, but there are a lot of Pfister games where he uses a programming element. It's light, so I don't mind it. It's when it's like the focus of the game and then I get a little stressed. But you're working with, companies. You have different companies and you're trying to manage those tracks. And obviously you want to be the most profitable company. So this is a game where card programming is acceptable and I enjoy it. So Sky Mines for me, very happy for the retheme, is on my list. I really like this one.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad for the retheme as well, and I enjoy Sky Mines. First up for me is Mandy. It is a Spiel des Jahres nominee this year.
Yes.
Brand new, Bomb Busters. So for those of you who follow the hobby, Spiel des Jahres is the German Games Awards. It's one of the biggest awards you can get in the industry. And Bomb Busters is on Game of the Year as a nominee up against 2 other games that are very different. It's interesting to see Bomb Busters in this category. I personally would love to see Bomb Busters win because it's an excellent cooperative deduction game. And it's got great art, a really stylistic art where you're trying to work together to defuse a bomb. You've got a little rack of number tiles and you're figuring out who has various numbers based on what you know about yours, and some discussion that happens around the table as you're flipping down tiles and guessing and looking at the order, unlocking special abilities, and as you get things wrong, your meter's ticking down. It also has an element where it gets more complex as you go, which is cool, and you unlock other things as you go, because when you open the box, there's the basic stuff, but then there's little tuck boxes full of goodies that you can discover as you go along. It's a great deduction game, and it's a game with a ton of charm as well. So Bomb Busters is my first Pegasus Spiele slice.
This was a good one. Actually, I can thank Eric Lang for showing this to me. He's like, it's so good. You have to play it. And he was indeed right. It was quite fun. So thanks for that. Next on my list, this actually was, I used to do a segment many moons ago called lunchtime gaming for those who are familiar with it.
Lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. You know, people that asked me to bring that back, I'm like, oh, I thought you'd be sick of it by now. This was a game that we featured on there. Actually, it was one of our earlier games, and I owned the German version, Pi mal Pflaumen, which is plums. And this is a game that I think has been done a couple of times, and it's a trick-taking game. Hey-o. And I like this game because it had that whole pi element, like the 3.14. So you could like literally lose a trick by 0.14 because someone had that darn card. I liked the fruit theming on it. I think now it's since changed, right? Suzanne, I think slightly. Is it still fruit? I'm trying to remember.
It switched to, so I believe that like All Play picked it up, right? And now it's like actually pies.
Pies,
it's called
thank you.
pies.
I was like,
P-I-E-S,
it was coming to me. It took a minute. So yeah, so it's still like a food theme. Perfect for you. And it's really nice. But I like the kind of styling as well as the original one that I have. So there you go. My second slice of Pegasus Spiele pie is Pi mal Pflaumen or plums.
Great choice. Definitely, I have a lot of favorites from this publisher. And looking back through the catalog, and if I was a little distracted, Mandy, apologies, because I was looking at my next game and just double checking something. But if you're not really familiar with Pegasus Spiele, you want to look back to the years like 2010 to 2015 and just look at what they were putting out in that era. Just really great game after really great game. And they publish a wide range of games, from little card games to more heavy Euros and things like that.
Right.
And one game, the next slice on my pie is Octodice. Now, Octodice I love for a few reasons. One, it's a roll and write.
Of course.
Two, it's a solid roll and write. Three, it's one of the few roll and writes in that era that was more than like a Yahtzee emulator.
Yep.
It really was, hey, let's get some actions. It was really taking, so Octodice is actually the roll and write sibling of Aquasphere, which is a very heavy Stefan Feld Euro style game. And then they twisted it all around and gave you Octodice. So thematically, they're tightly tied together. Mechanically, not so much. And it was also in that era. Nowadays, in the year of our Lord 2025, you got a ton of roll and writes with a wide variety of complexity and depth, right?
Yeah.
But back when this came out a decade ago, it was quite unique in terms of being kind of a micro Euro experience using the roll and write mechanisms. And I really respected that. You can play it solo up to 4. I actually played this a ton solo. It was a game that hit for me at the right time with the right weight and all this other stuff. It's a delightful little earlier example of a Euro style roll and write, a light Euro style roll and write. So Octodice from Pegasus Spiele.
Yeah, good choice. I like that one. Next on my list is one I know Ashley, if Ashley is listening, that we both enjoyed, but I know a lot of people felt a weird way about it, and that is the Undo series. And we really enjoyed these because it was almost like backwards. Do you know what I mean? When you're working with like an exit game, you're kind of moving forward, and this one is like they kind of give you a lot of the information up front, and you have to kind of go back and kind of figure out how you got to that point. I like that, and maybe that's because my brain's a little weird and it works really well, but Ashley and I were like, this is so good, and we were into it. There were some historical elements. Yeah, I know this, and just made us feel like super smart. I mean, we're smart already, but just made us super smart feeling. But I just liked the way they laid it out, and I know this was a little divisive with some people. Some people were like, yeah, I prefer more exit kind of way of doing it. I'm not really into the layout of how this is done, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, so if you're unsure, you want to try something a little different, but you're still solving a mystery vibe, check out the Undo series. I really like them.
I'm with you. All right, next up for me is a game by Michael Schacht, who is a classic, amazing designer. His catalog is huge, and I love him as a designer overall. And this is one of my favorites. And unfortunately, it's pretty out of print as far as I know. And GOG, I actually would love to see this one come back. Hello, out there, publishers. Mondo. Mondo is a tile-laying game with a real tile element, kind of like Galaxy Trucker, and you're just building out your little ecosphere, and again, this thematically, today we have tons of parks and birds and animals and themes like that, but again, over a decade ago, it just wasn't as common of a setting for a game, which made it stand out even more back then. So
Right.
Mondo, you're laying your terrain tiles and creating habitats and things like that. It's a really good game that holds up well over a decade later. Unfortunately, you might have a hard time finding it if you want to check it out. But if you're at a board game convention and they have it or something like that, give it a whirl because it's a lot of fun. That's Mondo.
I haven't played Mondo, but you said real time, and I kind of went. Ugh.
Yeah. It's like Galaxy Trucker where you're pulling tiles and trying to fit them into your board. So
Definitely an audience for some people, just not this one.
fair enough.
But a good choice for lots of people. Well, my last slice of pie is a game I think it's been around for a little while, and that's Is it Port Royal? I say Royale, but there's no E at the end of it, so it is Port Royal technically.
Is that the English edition? Like, what is it in Germany? Does it end with an E in German? Or is it, no, it's just Port Royal.
No, it's
just
Port Royal, and I
yeah.
think I always say Port Royal, but it's not because it would have an E at the end of it if it was pronounced. It was supposed to be pronounced that way. If we're gonna get technical,
Get it right, Andy.
I know, right? I've been studying doing my French, so I'm like, I want to, do all the things in French. But Port Royal has been around for a long time, and it's designed well. Another Alexander Pfister game. Look at that, and it's a card game, and it is one that has that kind of nautical theme to it. And you're using cards, and you're trying to. The cards can be used as like currency, like there are currency values on the cards, but you're also trying to complete objectives based on the type of cards you get. And I know they have different types of actions based on what you see on the cards. Like there are people, ships, expeditions, potentially increasing taxes, which can be very bad for players. I mean, much like in real life, not so good. So, yeah, we're going to leave that there. But Influence Points is the name of the game, but this is a game that's been around for a while. A lot of people speak highly of it, and I know it's always one that's well rated. I actually have the big box, and I've played this solo. Yes, that's right. I've played it solo. Now, I kind of poo-pooed a rule when I did the stream, but I figured it out after because I think I might have cheated. But it's fun, and I do play it. So Port Royal for me is one that if you haven't tried, you should.
Port Royal was on my short list, and I saw that you had put it on your list, so I yanked it, and I'm glad that you included that
Yay.
one. And to wrap up this Pegasus Spiele focused pie, they have such a good catalog, especially in that 2010 to 2015 era. Just so much goodness. But I had to go with Istanbul.
Good choice.
Istanbul, one of my all-time favorite games. It is so clever in the way that you have tiles. You're trying to get rubies to win or end the game. And you've got workers that are discs. And as you move around the board, you're dropping off your assistants to lay claim to different actions. But then you got to go back and collect all those assistants. It's a great mechanism. It works fabulously in Istanbul. And Istanbul is along the lines of also another line of games called Yokohama. Mm-hmm. They have sibling games. So there is Istanbul, the dice game, and then there's Istanbul, the choose and write game.
I have them all.
And I also have them all because all of them are great for what they are. Similarly to Yokohama, there's Yokohama, Yokohama Duel, and Yokohama, the roll and write game. All of them are great. So Istanbul, the core Euro-style game, it is a phenomenal medium to heavier weight Euro-style game with some clever mechanisms, and it is one of my all-time favorites. So, of course, it had to be my last slice of favorite games from Pegasus Spiele.
Strong ending. Very good choices.
Ta-da! Of course, there are lots more Pegasus Spiele games that we could have listed and didn't. And oh my goodness, I mean, I'm not going to cheat and throw
there were
them
a lot
all
of good
out
ones.
Yes. But y'all can chime in with your favorites, just like you did last episode. I've been in that thread on our Board Game Geek Guild. It's lovely to see everybody chiming in with their favorites from, I think it was 2010 was last episode's Game Pie. Lots of opinions there. Love it. That is on BoardGameGeek.com. Guild number 4131, or if you prefer to privately chat us up, you're always welcome to email us at saltandsassgames@gmail.com, or hit us up on social media.
Yeah, we're on the socials. I do check the comments. So thank you, everybody, for putting some great comments under our videos. So you could be watching a lot of our videos on our socials. So you can find us on YouTube and Twitch at Salt and Sass Games. We are also on Blue Sky. We thought it'd be a little more professional there and just go with Salt and Sass. So you can find us at Salt and Sass on a Blue Sky. For me, it's pretty slim these days. I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky for the most part. So you can find me there at 613 Mandi. That's Mandi with an I. How about you, Suzanne?
And you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm at 425 Suzanne. As always, thank you for joining us for another episode of the podcast. Thank you for including us in your extended gaming family. We appreciate you so very, very much. Mandi, you and I are going to be streaming a little game coming up in a few weeks on Twitch. So if you don't follow us on Twitch, as Mandi mentioned, please do, because if you want to chat us up, and the nice thing about streams is that we can hear from you more directly and more real time. So, do follow us on Twitch and, do the thing where you can get an alert. So, because we'd love to chat with you.
The schedule's updated. If
More
you
real
go in
time
our schedule's always
That's
updated.
All you, Mandi. You're so good at that.
If you want to see what we're up to, what we're playing, it'll be there.
Of course, we will be back in 2 weeks with another episode of the podcast. So until then, just take care of yourselves and your loved ones, stay hydrated, and play a lot of games. We'll see you then.
Bye, everybody. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/saltandsassgames. Thank you for your support. We are also part of the Goonhammer Media Network. Check out more of their content on media.goonhammer.com. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Mandi and Suzanne, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games. I realize this. I probably should have recorded this in OBS and then... Anyway, doesn't matter. All right.
It's too late now. We're doing it. We're recording. We're not stopping for anything.
Give her... God, I smell so good. I bought a new fragrance and it smells delicious. Just saying. I'm like, wow, I smell amazing.
I love that self-affirmation. That's so important. I'm glad that you can tell
I just keep smelling it and it's making me happy.
Are you getting high on your own, pheromones right now?
My golden nectar and lychee rose.
Stop sniffing your hands. I can see you.
Because I sprayed one. There, one for my mom, one for me, and I sprayed them both, and they both smell really good.
All right.
Okay.
Should we record a podcast here?
Yeah, we might want to do that.